Hello, and welcome back to Explain the Charts, your go-to channel for detailed market analysis. Today, on November 26, 2025, we are diving deep into Apple, ticker symbol Apple, which has been making headlines by hitting new all-time highs. We'll start by breaking down the crucial news and events fueling this rally, and then we'll jump into the charts to identify key levels and potential trade setups. As you can see on this daily chart, Apple has been on an incredible run, so let's unpack what's behind it. The news is overwhelmingly positive, with Apple's market cap now approaching an astronomical $4.1 trillion. Fundamentally, the company is riding a wave of optimism driven by what's being called a strong iPhone 17 cycle, with management guiding for double-digit iPhone revenue growth. Apple's high-margin services business continues to be a powerhouse, now accounting for nearly 30% of total revenue and growing at 15% year-over-year. This has led to a flurry of bullish analyst ratings, with institutions like Bank of America raising their price target to as high as $320. CEO Tim Cook has also projected robust total revenue growth of 10 to 12% for the current holiday quarter, which would mark the company's best quarter ever. However, it's crucial to consider the counterarguments and potential risks. Despite a recent favorable court ruling, regulatory scrutiny remains a persistent threat, with Poland's antitrust office now investigating its app tracking policy. There are also concerns about Apple's AI strategy lagging behind rivals like Google and Microsoft, which could impact future growth cycles. Furthermore, the company has engaged in strategic layoffs and faces increasing competition, particularly in the payments sector. While their latest earnings report topped estimates, sales in China saw a decline, a key market that investors are watching closely, though Apple expects a return to growth there soon. These risks seem to be keeping some investors cautious, even as the stock prints new highs. Now, let's transition to the technicals on this daily chart, where the story of the past year is clearly visible. After a volatile and steep decline back in early April, the stock found a major bottom around the $169 level. That low represents a critical long-term support level, and the recovery since then has been nothing short of spectacular, defining a powerful uptrend. The price has methodically broken through previous resistance levels, most notably the $230 area, which was a ceiling in August and September and is now a key support zone. We also saw significant consolidation between $245 and $255 through September and October, establishing another important support shelf. Yesterday's trading session saw Apple print a new all-time high of $280.38, which is now the immediate resistance level everyone is watching. A clean break and hold above this level would signal a continuation of this bullish momentum. On the downside, initial support can be found around the $265 to $270 area, where the price paused briefly in mid-November before this latest leg up. I want to zoom in on a particularly interesting period on this daily chart from early April 2025. Look at the massive price drop from around $223 down to the year's low of $169.21. Notice the huge volume spikes during this period, especially on April 9th. This indicates massive selling pressure, but also a capitulation event where the final sellers were flushed out, allowing strong-handed buyers to step in and reverse the trend. This violent reversal on high volume was the launching pad for the incredible 65% rally we've seen since. Understanding these pivotal moments is key to identifying the start of major long-term trends. Switching over to the 1-hour chart, we can get a clearer picture of the more recent price action. This chart clearly illustrates the strong, stair-stepping uptrend throughout November. We can see healthy pullbacks being bought up, forming higher lows and higher highs, which is the definition of a healthy trend. Yesterday's move to $280.38 was powerful, but we did see some profit taking into the close, with the price settling just under $277. For short-term traders, the high of $280.38 is the obvious resistance. Intraday support sits at yesterday's low of $275.25. As long as the price remains above this level, the immediate bullish structure is intact. Now let's zoom in even further to the 15-minute chart for the last couple of days. This gives us a granular view of yesterday's breakout. We can see the price was consolidating tightly on November 24th and in the pre-market of the 25th. Then, at 14:26 Universal Time Coordinated yesterday, we saw a massive volume spike and a powerful breakout candle that launched the price from $274.50 to over $279 in just 15 minutes. Following that explosive move, the price spent the rest of the day consolidating sideways in a tight range. This is constructive, bullish price action, as the stock is holding its gains well above the initial breakout point. For scalpers and day traders, this consolidation range between roughly $278 and $280 provides clear levels for potential trades. So, let's bring it all together and recap what to look for, returning to our daily chart. The key resistance levels to watch are the all-time high at $280.38, followed by the psychological $290 and $300 levels, and ultimately the high-end analyst target of $320. Key support levels are found at $275, the $265 to $270 zone, the major shelf at $250, and the longer-term support around $230. Now for some potential scenarios. The bullish case, which I'd give a 70% probability given the current momentum and news flow, is that Apple will consolidate briefly before breaking and holding above $280.38. A successful breakout with strong volume would reinforce this view and open the door to a test of $290 and possibly $300 before year-end. The bearish case, with a 30% probability, would involve a rejection from the $280 resistance. If the price breaks below the $275 support, it could trigger a pullback to the $265 area. This scenario would gain credibility if we see negative market-wide news or specific bad news for Apple regarding regulation or sales. Ultimately, the long-term trend is undeniably up, but short-term pullbacks are always possible after such a strong run. Keep an eye on volume during moves above resistance or below support, as it will help confirm the conviction of the move. And as always, thank you for watching Explain the Charts. Please remember, this video is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always conduct your own thorough research before making any investment decisions.